Warning, despite the subject matter at the focus of these videos, my reviews are not intended for viewers under the age of 13, so if you're not of age, turn off the video now. Are they gone? Great, let's get to the intro already. In the filler episode Black Hole that Beast Morphers has been occupying as of late, the show has managed to circle the cast, and now we've had 2 Ravi-focused episodes in the span of a few weeks. Those episodes still managed to be enjoyable, with last time's even being one of my favorites this season. I don't think I've ever experienced this in my years of analyzing this show. Typically, when Power Rangers does a string of filler episodes like this, it involves either one-off characters or side characters. But Beast Morphers is the first season I've looked at that goes so deep in the filler pool that now single characters will have multiple focused episodes in a short amount of time. And it's not like the show doesn't have side characters. I mean, Ben and Betty have yet to have a focused episode, and they're the comic relief. But if I were a betting man, I'd say that the next Ranger to focus on would be Zoe, since she's the next in line. Keep in mind, I would much prefer that Devin get the spotlight here, so the show can play on how similar he and Ravi are. Hell, Beast Morphers might even mess around and make this a plot-focused episode, but I get the feeling the show won't kick into gear again until episode 15. For now though, this is Power Rangers Beast Morphers episode 14, Sound and Fury. The episode opens with Zoe helping Nate interview for an assistant position. The person they're interviewing, Megan, is the head of Zord maintenance who's looking for a better position. During the interview, Ben and Betty are seen testing out the cheetah claws by making a salad, but after they make a mess, Megan says Nate could use an assistant with training. After Megan leaves, we see that Nate isn't thrilled about hiring her, and when she sees other people being interviewed, Megan vows to become Nate's new assistant one way or the other. Later, Zoe runs into Nate at the movie theater, and since they're standing in line to see a cheesy sci-fi movie, they decide to see it together. Cut to the Cyberverse, where we see Scruzzle telling Roxy about Vargile once again, when they're interrupted again by Blaze coming in with Tubatron. Okay. Roxy laughs at Blaze for the rerun, but Blaze says his plan to power up Tubatron won't fail like hers did. Blaze reveals that he found Scruzzle's Fury Cells, and while the tech general is upset at Blaze for stealing them, Evox says they should use the Fury Cells to destroy the Rangers. So I guess we just forgot about the Beast Powers plot, huh? Shame. Back at the movie theater, Megan sees Zoe and Nate together, and...
But Rangers dating Rangers is against the rules. This is too perfect.
Okay, open up.
Oh, I see. She's a bitch. Also, nice to get confirmation that Ravi wasn't lying to Roxy when they broke up. The Rangers are then called to deal with Tubatron, and when they find the bot, Blaze powers it up with a Fury Cell. The Rangers morph into action so the main 3 can take on Tubatron, while Silver and Gold try to get the Fury Cells from Blaze. During the fight, Ravi gets his saber destroyed by Tubatron, and while Zoe checks on him, the 2 run into Tronics, leaving Devin alone against the Robotron. However, there is good news, since Nate and Steel force Blaze to drop the Fury Cells, allowing the Rangers to take one for themselves. Back with Devin, he uses his cheetah speed to evade Tubatron's attacks, but when he gets caught, the Robotron blasts the Red Ranger hard enough that his visor shatters. Cruz arrives in the nick of time to help Devin knock down Tubatron, and after Ravi and Zoe finish off the Tronics, they try to help Devin, but Tubatron blasts the team so hard they demorph. Cruz heads back to base with Zoe and Ravi before Devin follows with his super speed, but all hope is not lost for the Rangers since Steel and Nate force Blaze to retreat. Back at GB, the Rangers try to figure out their next move, and Nate plans to use one of the Fury Cells they have to make armor, so Commander Shaw orders him to put his new assistant to work. As they leave, Nate admits to Zoe that he hasn't hired a new assistant yet, and asks her to pick one for him since she's a better judge of character. On cue, Zoe bumps into Megan, and it's time for some good old-fashioned blackmail. Megan shows Zoe the video she took at the theater, and threatens to show the commander unless Zoe makes sure Nate selects her as his new assistant. I will repeat for those of you in the back, What a fucking bitch. Sure enough, Megan gets the job as Nate's new assistant and immediately tries to sabotage Nate's work on the cheetah claws he's still developing. She does this by overfueling one of them, and after the claw flies around the room, Megan goes to Commander Shaw, saying that Nate's responsibilities as a ranger are interfering with his science work. Megan suggests that she replace Nate as head of the science division, before Zoe asks what's going on. Sorry if it sounds like I'm rushing through this, the episode's pacing ramps up for the next few scenes. Anyway, Nate storms in, having discovered Megan's treachery, and after he asks Zoe why she recommended Megan, the Yellow Ranger admits to being blackmailed. Megan instantly denies this, but as the conversation continues, she nearly shows Shaw the video to prove that Zoe is trying to protect her scientist boyfriend. Commander Shaw's heard enough of this and orders security to take Megan out of the building, and after she's taken away, Nate convinces the commander that he and Zoe were only at the movies together by sheer coincidence. Suddenly the alarm goes off, signaling Tubatron's return, so Devin asks if Nate's made any progress with the armor. Nate says he's finished Red Fury mode, but thanks to Megan, it hasn't been tested yet. The team decides to test it out on the field, and after they morph into action, Devin decides it's Battleizer time.
Transport! Check out our Fury Cell!
Impossible!
Really? Watch this! Activate Red Fury mode! Whoa. Nate, is that it? There's more. Give it a sec.
Damn, don't you just hate slow loading screens? Luckily, the Rangers block Tubatron's blast long enough for the Battleizer to fully form, and for what it's worth, Red Fury mode is badass. It looks like football padding for sure, but I think the overall design works. The only thing that I don't like is how the cheetah claws don't already come with the armor, but that doesn't stop Devin from cleaning Tubatron's clock. Blaze yells at Scruzzle for how useless his Fury cells are, but the techie's quick to point out that the Rangers used a Fury cell to turn the tide. Scruzzle then deploys a Giga Drone, and since the other Rangers got their weapons damaged in battle, Devin and Cruz are the only ones sent out to take out the Giga Drone. The drone isn't powered up like Tubatron was, so the Red Ranger makes quick work of him, and after the fight, Nate and Zoe talk at the Riptide gym. Nate asks Zoe how she could let Megan blackmail her since the two Rangers just ran into each other at the movies randomly, but Zoe admits that she went to the theater on purpose so that they could have a date together. And just when I thought they were going to stretch this out longer, Zoe confesses her feelings for Nate, and the Gold Ranger reveals that he was Zoe's secret admirer on Valentine's Day. As the two try to figure out what to do now that everything's out in the open, the other Rangers wonder what they could be talking about. And the episode ends with Ravi speculating if Zoe and Nate actually went on a date, but that idea is quickly laughed off. This episode is a mixed bag. On the one hand, it progresses necessary story beats and plot elements, but on the other, I really hated the execution. Part of the problem is the episode spends so much time with the one-off character of Megan that other characters, namely Devin, don't get the chance to shine like they should. I get that Megan is the instigator that ultimately leads to Nate and Zoe confessing their feelings for each other, but she doesn't feel like a real character. For example, I know that she's supposed to be this self-centered climber who will step on anyone who gets in her way, but I don't know what motivates her to instantly resort to blackmail after she has a job interview. I mean, she leaves that room with a smile on her face, and then as soon as she sees other people being interviewed, she flips the switch for evil. Even when she gets the assistant job that she blackmailed Zoe for, she immediately goes about getting Nate fired so she can take his job. However, Megan's lack of motivation could be the fault of the pacing, since the episode speeds through her scenes as quickly as possible, just so Gold and Yellow can finally confess their feelings at the end. Again, I really do like that we shifted from a will they won't they story to a forbidden lover story, but I think all of that could have been accomplished without Megan. Throwing in a random side character like this was also a bad idea for this episode, especially because it's the introduction of the Battleizer. I'm not sure what happened between Dino Supercharge and this, but I find it odd how Battleizers don't focus on the Red Ranger now. The weird thing is, I would have given this episode a pass because it's still focused on Nate, who has been developing the cheetah claws, but then the episode had to go and do this. I know this is gonna sound like a nitpick, but believe me when I tell you that cracked visors are important. They are very striking images that should only be used for great or iconic moments. In fact, before I started reviewing this show again, I saw this image all over the place around YouTube and Twitter. Given how Devin's relationship with his father started out cold, I was expecting this moment to be how Mayor Daniels found out his son was the Red Ranger, like what happened in Time Force. So imagine my surprise when I watched this episode and Devin's visor is cracked by a Robotron the Rangers have already beaten. Really, if the episode was going to go that far, then this needed to be a story about Devin instead of stupid Megan. Overall, while the Battleizer itself was cool and I like the development with Zoe and Nate's relationship, the episode lacks proper focus by keeping the camera on a character the audience doesn't know or like. Megan really sours something that could have been great, and it's clear she's more of a plot device than she is a character. The longer I've sat on this episode, the more I dislike it, so I regrettably have to say you can skip this one. I'm Nick, aka IronBat1993, and may the power protect you.